What is going on? I want to thank you for coming to Vape with a Viking. So today, got an MTL device. I haven't got a ton of these out, so really excited to show this one to you. And it is going to be the Nevermore from Unicorn Vapes. So this is a 24 millimeter MTL RTA, of course, designed by Unicorn, PSDBD.customs, and Beardy McVape face. So if you happen to be familiar with Unicorn, those are the kind of collaborative builders that he does a lot of stuff with. So, and it's sitting on the mix mod, and I have some Zolo from Darkstar that I mixed into a 50-50, or close to 50-50, higher milligram Nic Salt MTL juice. So running it on 3.7 volts. The coil in here is, of course, Triple C's MTL Alien, opening right at a 0.7, so 3.7 volts. Tasting wonderful. When we get down to this, you'll see there's a lot of configurations you can do with this guy, kind of like a lot of MTLs right now, where they're trying to make it so if you like it super tight or kind of loose, they're trying to cater to the plethora of MTL variations out there. But before we get down into this little MTL 24 millimeter tank, we'll take a quick second to talk about, of course, Vape Advocacy. All I keep saying over and over again is definitely go onto Twitter. You're going to find people that I'm calling the Vape Advocate Generals right now, fighting for everyone's right to vape. We're talking about Grim Green. We're talking about Matt from Suck My Mod or SMM. Phil, Dimitri, guys from Anakin and way before that. And of course, the Vaping Bogan, Sam, definitely fighting every single day for our rights to vape. But also hashtag ADHD awareness. So basically what that is kind of going on, you have basically just trying to bring awareness to the disorder. A lot of people think it's either not real or it doesn't affect a lot of people or it's only in kids, so on and so forth. I got diagnosed at 40, so, and I deep dive into the research of it. It is a real thing. It is a real disorder, and it does affect a lot of people that go either undiagnosed, untreated, or just treated badly. So definitely, like, I urge everybody to do some research if you have a loved one or even possibly yourself has the disorder. And if none of the above applies to you, do me a favor. Go find somebody that has it and just let them know they're not stupid, they are not broken, they are not lazy. Their brain is just different, and different is beautiful. So that's enough of that right there. You get to hear about that all the time on TRV show. But I'm ready. Are you ready? Yeah, we're ready. Let's drop the hammer on the Nevermore. All right, so what I got for you today is an MTL RTA by Unicorn. Yeah, Unicorn Vapes here, which a little too bright, but Unicorn there. It's also done by Athena. I can never say that right. They're the ones that also did the baby vert with Unicorn. Of course, Unicorn on that side. And then also, see if it's going to focus on this, but it's Beardy McVape face. If you're not familiar with this person, definitely knows Unicorn very well. I believe still reviews, and I know is on Instagram. But what they are presenting now is the Nevermore MTL RTA. And you'll see on here on the back, not a lot to it. You got Nevermore, then Unicorn's logo, true MTL experience, 24 millimeter in diameter, designed by Unicorn, and Beardy McVape face, and PSDBD custom, which you'll see especially a lot of this one with a lot of Unicorn products. So in the box you're going to get the tank, you're going to get a spare glass, you're going to get 2 drip tips, and you're also going to get 2 little bags here. Bag number 1 is going to be your grub screws, your O-rings, both silicone, rubber, and of course your Allen key. Second bag is going to be all of these inserts for your airflow. And as you can see, some of these go down to extremely tiny. And the 2 drip tips you're going to get is more of both 510s. Any 510s will work, but these are what you get with them. You get more of a almost direct lung or bigger bore, bigger mouthed type of drip tip. And then you get that kind of classic, very skinny chest piece, mouth to lung. They look to be about the same diameter. So the draw is going to be roughly the same. you're just going to have a little more travel and thinner on this tip than this one. And here's the device itself. We'll go ahead and throw in both drip tips real quick so you can see what those look like. This is probably more the one I'll be using. So this is the bigger drip tip here. And there it is with more the tighter one. All right. Before we put the drip tip back in, yeah, there is some marking and stuff on there. That's me. I've already used it. I tried to clean it to the best of my ability, but stainless, yeah, every little fingerprint, boom, will be on there. So this was definitely very well taken care of when it came packaged. I just made it dirty. But if you look down in there before I throw this back in there, it is the non-O-ring here. So just a standard 510. And then on the outside, we're going to look at this. You have your airflow control here. It is a Cyclops only airflow design. So you have to adjust it one hole at a time, all the way down to the smallest opening here. Now you can keep going and it'll just end up into nowhere. So the way we're probably going to run this is we're going to run this all the way open here. So and if you look at the bottom here, you're going to see Nevermore MTL RTA. And of course you have Unicorn's logo. And I believe this is the PSDV's sign. I'm not 100% sure. It might be Beardy. And then your serial number here at the bottom looks like 215 on the stainless. And you do have a easily protruding 510, but it looks like silver plated, silver coated 510. So definitely will be hybrid safe, and it's not a copper. And for filling, it is one of those quarter turns. You quarter turn here, pulls right out. You'll see up here is a big silicone O-ring, and it's technically a quarter turn, but it's an either direction quarter turn. If you'll see, there's two cutouts here, and then you look here, it does have the notches here. So whether you go right or left, it does not matter. It's a quarter turn either direction, so you don't have to go in one direction. Pretty good size, especially for an MTL. Juice flow kidney holes there. And just in case you are newer to taking products apart, easiest way to get an RTA's glass off is put your finger in the bell here, the chimney, and just kind of pull a little bit and go around. Eventually that glass will come off. Then you have, of course, your black O-ring up there, and here's your chimney, and you'll see down in there where there's that kind of void in between the barrel and basically the outside, you'll see that is where your airflow will be coming into here. If you look on the chimney, it's got a very, very nice dome to it, polished really well. So definitely good craftsmanship in there. And then on the outside, you'll actually get to see that Nevermore or Plague Doctor design. That's about the only thing you'll see on the outside is just that. And of course, knurling and stuff like that. But when it comes to branding, you're only going to see the Plague Doctor. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the deck here. So on the deck, if it'll focus, there we go. They do denote which side is positive, which side is negative, which was a pretty cool little feature. If you're not 100% certain, unless there's something I've never ever seen before, your peak insulator is always going to be on your positive side. But it is kind of small and out of the way. You might miss that. So they did a real good job of showing you which side is positive and which side is negative. Then you have your juice flow channels here. And then you'll have, of course, your posts. So the nice thing is, since there are 4, it does not matter if you want to run your coils a leg here and a leg here, or a leg here and a leg over here. Does not matter. So as long as you have one on this side going in and one on the other side. Now this round portion here, that's where your airflow is going to be coming in. That's where you'd put those inserts. If you want to use them, you can run them without it. I will definitely be running without it because I do like a looser MTL. And of course your wicking channels. If I can get the camera, there we go. You can see they go all the way down to here. So this is kind of almost like a GTA or Sky deck type of design. It's just got a lot more to it. So what I usually tell everybody is when you wick these, you want to go ahead and wick them a little longer, thin them out really well, and you want to see the cotton, if you can, just coming out of the bottom of here. You don't want it touching the deck or literally just jammed through and sprawled out on the deck. But you do, if you can, want to see a little bit hanging out there. even if you don't have it that far down, just by the natural tipping action, you should still be able to get it to wick up pretty well. But I personally like to see just the very little fluffy ends of the cotton down here. So you'll see the grub screws are here. They are machined very well. Like I said, I've already taken this apart once. They're right here, and I've already got them all loosened up so you can see down in there a little bit better. And this, of course, is going to be for more of a round wire or very low mass coil design. And then when you get to the sides here, you'll see this right here is your airflow. So it's going to come down the barrel and in through here. And what that's going to do, and you'll see it this side on the peak insulator, and if you look right in here is where it's coming in. Go to the other side. Actually see that one a little bit better, it looks like. Yeah, there you go. So there's your airflow there. So when you do put in those inserts, all it does is really condense it down into that smaller pinhole right underneath your coil. So the way we're going to do this is without it. So I want the mass of my coil pretty much just above this hole right here. Now, one thing you might see that's a little different, if you take a normal MTL style coil, like this is like a super fine fused Clapton, you're going to have to kind of space it pretty far apart to get them down in there. And then you're going to have to basically figure out how far down you want it from there. So I would definitely say you want it at least a couple millimeters above here. And if you're using an insert, since they have that little nipple that kind of comes up, you also want to be a couple millimeters above that as well. Now, since I have trial run this already, I'm going to redo the same build I did before. Cut this coil right at the 4 millimeter. So I'm going to cut those to 4, and then they're going to kind of stretch out a little bit, and you'll see where that coil gets centered pretty much perfect there. And on the height, I make sure after it's all done and tightened up, I kind of make sure I pull up a little bit just to give it maybe another 0.5 millimeter or so on height. So what I'm going to, of course, run in there is one of my go-to MTLs, which is Miss Jane Shy Tots over in the UK. Her Pod Squad, which is a closer to a 50-50 liquid. It's like a 60-40. Her Blueberry Lemonade. Really good for MTL. All right, let's get this going. All right, back up with the Nevermore. And I keep stumbling because I want to call it something else, but I know that's not what it is. So definitely, if you are a follower of Unicorn, he is starting to pump out a good amount of products. You know, some definitely, of course, you have the Vert. He's made some improvements on there. And then, of course, he's got the MDX stack or regular tube. He has this. He's working on a couple other things. He also has a MTL RTA that is out as well that you will hopefully be seeing from me soon. I haven't got it recorded. And I'm going to butcher the name on that, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it right now. So, but we're here for the Nevermore. It is a 24 millimeter RTA MTL, and as you saw in the dive down, has a tons of different little inserts as well. I have it straight, no insert whatsoever, on the largest hole possible because even with the AFC, if you crank it down, it's going to make it tight. If you put an insert in, it's going to make it even more tight. So you can get like concrete through a straw type of restrictedness on this guy. Now for me, the way I vape, you're talking like, you know, a 1 ohm plus coil is going to be best for that kind of tightness, really high nick. And I don't do that. Usually the highest I go is 6 milligram. And I treat it like a very, very, very restrictive direct lung almost. Kind of like this, and that's why I'm running on 3.7 volts usually. Now that is still an MTL draw, no matter what anybody says on that. Adds an MTL, but I just have a lot more vapor to it than a normal MTL. Now the drip tip on there is not what comes with it. You saw in the dive down what it comes with. This one I just put on there because I thought it matched really well, and on the mix looks beautiful. And it is available in the stainless steel, and he does also have a black. Really hard to say which one aesthetically is better looking, the black. The Plague Doctor is going to be basically embossed or screened white, so it stands out really well. And of course, on the stainless, it's in black. So it just kind of depends on what device and what finish you would like. $56 roughly, if I remember right. You can get it straight from Unicorn Vape's website. And I think that's actually it for right now. I think a lot of his stuff he's releasing is on his site only. So we'll go through pros and cons. Pros. Well, I'll do one pro and con. And that's a very subjective thing. What it is I personally don't like messing around with the inserts on the decks. Kind of like even with the Ether and just a plethora of them out there, like the MD RTA. I hate that because if you do not know which insert to use right away, you're going to put one in, you're going to put your build in, do all that. If you don't like it, you're going to have to pull it all back out. So now for that, why it's a pro and it's a con. Pro is it's got a lot of adversity. Ways you can change this to hit your style is not an issue. Why it's a con for me is because I don't like fiddling around with those inserts. But, you know, that's one of those things. Once you find out what you like, you're not going to be messing with it anyway. So that's why it's kind of a pro/con. It's kind of weird. It's a very subjective thing. But overall look, fit, finish, it is machined very, very well, which we're getting used to with Unicorn. It does very, very awesome machining. The embossment or the logo placement is super clean looking. Very easy to build, very easy to wick. Literally, I'm seriously thinking the only con I really have is that insert issue, which it might not be a con to you. So yeah, lots of pros. It's vaping really well. Flavor is on point. Like I said, again, easy to wick, easy to build on. It is literally a lot of pros. One very subjective con. So it just depends. If you're okay with messing with those inserts, or you know what kind of inner diameter you would like on a draw, be perfect for you. One thing I would suggest, if you're not used to a lot of the inserts, is you can get an idea by putting in an insert, dialing your AFC to a certain way, and just kind of dry drawing on it. When you put the coil and cotton in there, it's going to be a little more restrictive than it is dry, but it's going to give you a better idea than just going, yeah, that one should work. So give that a shot. Like I said, for me, if you vape the way that I do, no insert, all the way open on that single Cyclops airflow, it's doing really, really well. But that is all I got today for the Nevermore. I just want to thank each and every one of you yet again for coming to Vape with the Viking, and I'll check you later.